it to work. So be ready to apply what you've learned. It's one thing for you to attend boot camps, is one thing for you to network with people, for you to increase in your knowledge, but it's another thing for you to practice what you've learned. Okay? So be ready to do your assignments, which will be very simple, by the way. But we just want to see you put in the work. We want to see you get on different platforms to practice what you've been taught here. So I think, Arinze, if you're ready, please let me know, okay? So that I can stop talking. I want to hear from one person over here. I want to hear from Charles. Yes. Charles, are you here? Good evening. I want to hear from you. So, what do you think about what I've said so far, and what is your expectation? I would love to hear from you.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are.
Okay, my name is Dave Charles. I'm a former student and also a data analyst. So I got to know about this book camp from a friend, Sunday Ikete. So basically, I think we're just discussing about my next phase in my career, which is I want to move into freelancing. And he was like, "Oh, he has this opportunity just saw around him, sent the link to it." So I went through the bootcamp curriculum and I actually like what I saw because it covers a lot of aspects that I'm actually interested in, from the LinkedIn optimization to how to get a client to finalizing everything. So yeah, that's exactly why I'm here. So for today's bootcamp, LinkedIn. Okay, so I'm actually not new to LinkedIn because I've been on the platform for like 2 years, and I have like a very good network there. Currently over 1,000 followers. So but I've not used it for the aspect of client acquisition. So I think that's one aspect that I'm hoping to get from this session. So thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Charles. I love that. Okay, Arinze, I'll let you take over now. Okay, thank you so much.
All right. Good evening, everyone, once again, and welcome to the How to Get High Paying Gigs Bootcamp. This bootcamp is brought to you by Talent App. Talent App is a startup, an early stage startup. That's why you've not probably heard about us in many places. We've not exactly engaged brand marketing or product marketing. We just focus on what we know how to do best, that is, help people learn skills and help them grow in their career, right? That's what we've been focusing on. But then in the coming months, you probably see a lot of us on your screen. So yeah, let's look out for that. If you are here, you're hearing about Talenta because you're part of one of our programs. We barely do a lot of brand marketing out here right now because we're still early stage. So yeah, what's Talent App? Talent App is an all-in-one platform that helps people learn skills and monetize. Interestingly, I'm leading today's session and I'm also a co-founder at Talent App. Right. If you checked out the flyers that we sent out uh, a lot of documents, right? Uh, Today's session is supposed to be led by Christian Ago, but then uh, due to logistics, he's unable to make the session today. He has a clashing call or meeting at work that he's moderating, so he's unable to be in the session today. Because of that, I'll be leading the session today on optimizing your LinkedIn profile to attract gigs, right? So that's what the session today would be about. So right, about me, my name is Arinze Nye, and I don't know, what am I? I'm a boy. All right, so I'm an
Please,
entrepreneur.
please, I have a question, please.
Okay, please go ahead, Clinton. Clinton, please go ahead. Please.
Okay, you said you are a freelancer. Please, I don't know if you can update me more about freelancing, please.
Oh, that's what this entire bootcamp is about. So don't worry, just sit tight and be in all of the sessions. You're going to learn about that. That's one. Two, I didn't say I'm a freelancer. I said I'm co-founder at Talent App. I don't know if that answers your question. But yeah, learning about freelancing is like what you're going to understand it in details. Talk about the sum total of the entire bootcamp. So just ensure you are well seated and paying attention all through the sessions, starting from today down to day 5. There are 5 different sessions in this bootcamp. All right, so yeah, my name is Arinze. I'm mostly an entrepreneur. Currently building a startup. Before that one, I built another one that failed. Did not raise funding the way people do it, but then that startup actually impacted a lot of people. I think over 3,000, 5,000 people, doing training programs and stuff. Right now, I'm committed to building startups, and I think I'm going to be doing this for a long while. But outside being an entrepreneur, I'm a product manager. And before being a product manager, I've been many other things. I think casually I used to do data science, data analytics. So if you brought data to my table, I'll flog it long enough for you to converse and show insights using tools like Python, NumPy, stuff like that, Power BI. Uh, then I write Python code as well. Used to do WordPress development, build websites, WordPress, and a couple of other stuff really. But yeah, if you want to know who I am, just think of me as a product manager and someone who's building startups, trying to solve problems. I'm using technology and entrepreneurship as tools. Right? Why is it important for me to introduce myself before the session, and also for future sessions? Why is it important generally for speakers to introduce themselves before the session? Because many times people the Bible says, God looks in their inward appearance, or man looks in the outward appearance. People actually look at the outward appearance. People are not God, so they barely look at inward. They usually always look at the outward, right? So many times now you're in this session, and instead of you to pay attention and listen, the first thing you're trying to figure out subconsciously in your mind is, who is this person and what gave him the right to be teaching me today, right? So yeah, I might not be a Lumelu, but we're working towards it. Where I've done a lot of stuff that puts me in a good position to share from experience, right? So I like you to raise up your expectations, raise up, something like that. Right, raise your expectations. I think I can feel it. So yeah, I'm going to share my screen. Um, we're going to make this class very interactive and very practical. Make sense? If you can hear me and if we are good so far, please can you use reactions so that I'll know that I'm not alone. All right, see me saying. Who else am I seeing? Reactions is not raising my hand. All right, I can see Adetori, I can see Ibrahim, thank you, I see Chikebuka. Who else am I seeing? I see Daniel. All right, who again? Is that all? I see Bello, I see Charles. All right, I think that's sufficient. Okay, that's it, guys. Are you laughing? Okay, so let's get into this class. So the entire bootcamp, the sum total of the bootcamp is supposed to teach you how to attract high-paying clients, how to attract high-paying gigs, basically. And the way we are going to achieve that is that we have broken the session into 5 subsections. Let me reshare the screen. I don't think I'm showing what I'm supposed to share. Give me a minute. All right. We're back. So there are 5 sessions. There's one on how to optimize your LinkedIn profile, which is today's session. So in today's session, the expectations are going to learn about LinkedIn and see how it's a good tool, good platform for you to leverage at the start of your journey to attracting high-paying gigs. Now, I want you to pay attention and see that all of the sessions are well designed and they are very incremental. Each one is like a follow-up to the next one. So by the time you want to attract gigs, like people have to first see you and know who you are. And LinkedIn usually is the best place to tell who you are professionally, right? And even though you can do that on Twitter as well, sometimes on Instagram, but LinkedIn is just the best place to do that professionally. And that's how we have a session on optimize your LinkedIn profile. So you can tell who you are. The next thing people want to know is, what can you do by what have you done before? So there's a session tomorrow that talks about building a solid portfolio website for yourself. And that's just been taken by the amazing Amarachi Wize, right? This girl does wonders in design space, freelance space. If you follow her on Twitter, you will be very, very impressed with her work. So please look forward to tomorrow's session so you can learn how to design your portfolio website where people that already know you want to know about your work, what you have done before. How do you show it to them? Right? The best way to show that to them is your portfolio. But after that, you want to design your structure and the systems via which you are going to service all of the clients that come to you. Right? And that's how we have the third session on building productivity systems that helps you deliver 5-star services. That's just going to be taken by Miracle Lusonya. She's a productivity coach. and she even has a productivity bootcamp that kickstarted yesterday, as in live class earlier today. Actually teach you how to design structures, design systems to ensure that by the time the client finally comes to you, you don't deliver nonsense service to them. Because one of the best ways to attract high paying gigs is through direct referrals and returning customers. So if you cannot service the singular client you got very well, you will not get the next one. Sorry, because they won't refer you to anybody. And that same customer will not come back again. You'll just be having a leaky bucket, right? A broken funnel. Right. So after that, we have the next session on personal branding and visibility. That session is supposed to help you learn how to do the attack. Right. That's more like marketing. So how do you brand yourself? How do you do a lot of marketing around the services that you offer? How do you put yourself in the faces of people very often? This session on LinkedIn looks like a visibility session, but it's actually not a visibility session. It has a bit of visibility in it, but it's not all of the visibility session here. That session is going to be taken by Isaac Nwachukwu. If you follow him on Instagram, you see that he's the right person to take that session, right? You go check out his videos on Instagram. By the way, he's a creative designer and he does wonders in the design space as well. So I think he had a session on Twitter just yesterday and had a lot of attendance. So we're in the right place, basically. And then for the 5th day, the day 5 session, at that point, now we have attracted, we have a LinkedIn profile. People saw it, they liked it. We have a portfolio of our work. People saw it, they trusted that we can do the work. We have a system that when we close the clients, we can serve them 5-star services. We have started doing our marketing, and someone has come to me and said, I'm interested in your service, right? Oh, I'm not sharing any slide. Like I shared earlier, the speaker that will speak to this session isn't available, right? So I'm standing on his behalf. Because I did not realize I was going to the session eventually, I did not prepare a slide. But I can assure you that by looking at my face, I'm a slide. I'm a spec. Okay, it's not slide, it's spec. I'm a spec. Sorry, I didn't realize I'm a slide. But I'm a spec. Something like that you get. So yeah, the 5 session is going to now focus on sales and negotiation techniques in closing deals. So someone has come to your DM and has said, hey, I like what I see. Like, oh my God, I just want to start working with you already. How do we go about it? You know, like, you don't know how to go about it. That would be very wrong, right? So that session is going to teach you how exactly you're supposed to go about it. How do you close that sale? You already have a lead. How exactly do you close that sale? And that's going to be happening by none other than Hilary Remy. Hilary Remy has a very huge community of freelancers that he trains and mentors via Twitter and via Telegram. So if you're not in that session, you are just very wrong. All right. So yeah, that's the expectation for the overall bootcamp. The way the program is going to run is that we're going to have live sessions. There are 5 live sessions, all of the ones I've told you about. Once in a while, I'm probably going to send pre-recorded materials. Most of the sessions are also supposed to run Talent Hub, but Talent Hub is undergoing some fixes. So it's not unlikely that I will have to use alternatives during the session. There are going to be assignments, but then the assignments that we give out in this bootcamp, they are not your typical university assignments, right? It's not like, okay, what did you learn? Tell us what you learned. Nah, nobody's interested in whether you learned or not. If you did not learn, it's your own issue, right? You are the one to blame. What the assignments are for are basically do sessions. Basically, the things we have taught you that this is what you need to do to attract the gig. Oh yeah, do it. So we now want to do that step 1. For you to do that step 1, we made step 1 an assignment. If you understand, can you use the raise hand feature or use a reaction? So for example, you're supposed to revamp your LinkedIn profile. So I want people to check your profile, they can know who you are. So we now create an assignment. Revamp your LinkedIn profile. Does it make sense? So the assignments are for you to do the things that you ought to do in order to attract the gigs that we said you can attract through the things we're going to teach you during this bootcamp. All right, make sense? So it's going to be assignment on optimizing your LinkedIn profile, assignment on creating posts so you can be visible, and an assignment on actually sending out cold mails and stuff like that. Right. So there are going to be assignments during this bootcamp. If you don't do those assignments, you are very wrong. And if I catch you one-on-one, you pay us money for this bootcamp. You pay money for all the people that came to this bootcamp for free, because why did you come to the bootcamp and you do not take it seriously? You explain yourself. So yeah, something like that. So please ensure that you are ready to the assignment. There should be a certificate of completion at the end of the bootcamp, but yeah, we're going to communicate that to you when due during the course of the training. Primary means of communication is also going to be the WhatsApp. If you're just joining the WhatsApp group chat today, you joined in quite late. I realized some of you did not get emails. I didn't know on time, right? But for those of you that got emails but you somehow skipped it, you are wrong. right? And we've done some intros in the group, and we started following each other on LinkedIn. Some people already added like 50 new connections on LinkedIn just because they were on the group chat, and you missed out on that. So if you are not on the group chat, please, Martha, maybe you can send them the link to the group chat here on the call so that they can start now to rectify it. And like Martha said earlier, see, there's something we said in our last bootcamp. Our last bootcamp was titled how to land high paying gigs. And then I just asked a question: how exactly do we rise? Because I know there's a quote around it. So I want to ask that same question in this bootcamp. How do we rise? Can anybody share? If you know, if the quote comes to mind, you can quickly like maybe just unmute and say, how do we rise? Because I was always thinking of it that how much do I need to be like maybe Elon Musk? You don't be like Elon Musk, and you need like maybe $250 billion, $300 billion. So if I want to rise like Elon Musk, I need $350 billion. But that's like too ambitious, right? I mean that money is too big. That height itself is too high. You can fall down on the way climbing it. Let me even just okay, I want to just have normal, stable life here. Money will not be an issue anymore. So I'm like, okay, I just need like $1 million. So maybe so I can now imply and say I will rise by $1 million because if I have $1 million now, I'll just rise up. I'll be very stable. I'll be very fine. But then you now corrected me that no, you know you rise by $1 million. So that you rise by lifting others. I'm like, okay, I agree. So if you say that we rise by lifting others, can you please copy the link to the group chat or the link to this live session and share to other people in your network, or don't you want them to rise? That's really the logic around this, right? It's just like logical thinking. Adding 1 plus 1 together, you're seeing 11. So please, have you shared the link to this bootcamp? If you have not, if you have not shared the link, you are very wrong. Like very, very wrong. So please, can you start now to share the link? I'm going to give like 2 minutes. Copy the link, share to somebody, please. They should be here. If they are not here, they are wrong. They don't want to attract, they don't want to increase their source of income. Especially if you are in Nigerian, you are very, very wrong. Because the price of stuff just got double. Did they increase your salary? Has the salary doubled? No. So how else are you going to double your income? By attracting high paying gigs. So please, when you are done sharing the link, can you come to the chat and say I've shared it so I will know? Because me, I will not go anywhere. If I'm delivering today's lecture to help you guys to rise, I mean to lift you guys up, so I need to arise. You guys have to do the same. Pass the favor across other people too. So please, can you share the link? I'm waiting. If you have shared it, can you let me know? Just maybe use reactions and send a message to the chat. Nobody. Wow. Must be nice though. Okay, I see Destiny. I see Christiana. Alright. I shared. Done. I like this. Done. Please, when I give you assignment, these are you should be saying done. No. Let me be marking the number of people that said done. If they don't send the assignment, matter, please let's note them. We'll be on their matter. Angel, Darling, Jackson, Charles, Destiny. I'm not. If you're sure for you don't submit your assignment, you will tell whether you don't want to double your income. You will tell me. Alright, I see Mary Cynthia. Mary Cynthia, how are you doing today? You can unmute and tell me how you are doing. I've missed you. Do you know?
Hello, Easy.
How are you doing?
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm very fine. How have you
Awesome.
been?
I've been very fine as well. Alright, so now let's get to it. I wish I had the slides so that you following me visually. Unfortunately I do not. So what do I plan to do to replace the slide that's missing? So you likely have all the other speakers are going to likely have slides. We briefed them and helped them see reasons why we should make slides for you guys. But for today's session, we got to the notice that speaker will not be around me, so I couldn't come up with one. But yeah, I'm going to improvise, and that improvisation is going to be much more valuable for you than the slide. So yeah, optimizing your LinkedIn profile. So what better slide to share than the LinkedIn platform itself, right? So yeah, this is me. Again, my name is Arinze. Yeah, the session has started properly now, right? So if you are still sharing, you could just maybe round that up quickly so I can be in class and focus. For those of you that did not share, we also noted you will just realize that when we sent out the links to the assignment, you didn't receive it. So when you now ask me that, please, where's the assignment? I didn't see it. Sorry, we didn't see you say share in the group chat as well. All right. So yeah, optimizing your LinkedIn profile. What's LinkedIn exactly, and why does it matter? Like everybody just saying LinkedIn, LinkedIn, LinkedIn. And the beautiful thing is that many people have many impressions about LinkedIn. People are like, ah, that place, pressure. Whenever I open LinkedIn, they say, I'm happy to announce, I'm happy to announce, I'm happy to announce. What are they always announcing? You know, that kind of people are really paying when they hear about LinkedIn. It's a cringe platform. Everybody that is there just trying to be well behaved and all that. I'm like, okay, cool. So is that the reason you're not on LinkedIn? What's LinkedIn? Well, LinkedIn is a social network, right? But unlike other social networks, LinkedIn is a professional social network. Please, you can feel free to take notes and intermittently send in your summaries in the chat so that other people can see it. And also when I say that, I can like be very sure and confident. Okay, this person understood what I said. She heard it or he heard it exactly the way I said it. Right? So LinkedIn is a professional social network. So it's different from other social networks. The primary purpose of LinkedIn is not for you to make new friends. No, it's for you to make new friends in a professional setting. So why is it that when you go to church or when you go to mosque, there is a way that you dress to church and there's a way that you dress to mosque? And why is that when you're with your friends at home or your family members, the kind of jokes you can make, the kind of interactions you typically have at home, and not the kind of interactions you take to church or to the mosque? Because there is a place, and that place has what it has been defined for. When you go to the office, you dress professionally to the office. There are some things that we call corporate jargons. Those are basically things, lingos that we use when we are at the workplace in order to communicate more professionally. That means whenever I go to work, by nature or by the current construct of the world, there is a way I behave myself. There is a behavior I put on whenever I go to the office. There are languages that I use whenever I get to the office because I realize I'm in a professional setting. When I go to a conference and it's time for networking, I don't see someone that is on suit and meet someone and I say, "Hey, my guy, how far now? I like your beard, so oh, you're looking good. So how far now? Tell me about who are you?" Kind of. I don't want to add the line of I'm chasing there, where maybe alpha I'm chasing right. Sort of. You don't use that kind of interactions, right? But if you are in a club, right, you can just say, "Hey, you know, I like your vibe. Your vibe is giving." I was like, why is it the same you, but different manifestations in quotes, different expressions of the same person, the same human being, because of the setting, because of the platform. So at the conception of LinkedIn, it has been designed as a place for professional networking. That means when people come here, not that they don't have funny things to say or they don't have a vibey life that they have somewhere on Instagram or somewhere else, but this is just a place that all of us together we have agreed that we would segregate this place for professional conversations. We're going to segregate this platform for work conversations so that we can interact on the basis of work. Does it make sense? Do you understand? If you're following, I'd like to see reactions. Awesome, Afiz. Awesome, Charles. Awesome, Balogun. All right. So LinkedIn is a place of professional reaction. And the first way that they made that known is by the content of a typical LinkedIn profile. When you go to your Instagram profile, you see a gallery because you're trying to show yourself in visuals, right, which can be pictures or videos or reels. So I can go through your gallery and I want to see how fun your life can be. I just want to interact with you in a way that's very visual. When I go on Twitter, just something brief because here, before Twitter was like 250 characters a day about. Right, so brief conversation. So and of course I want to be very, very flexible. So I don't want you to know too much about me at work, or too much about me in church, or too much about me in the mosque, or too much about me in family. And then when Facebook was designed, it was like a place to meet friends, right? So that's why you have all the information about you, like your family, when were you born, and are you in a relationship? That's the funny thing on Facebook. Single, married, or something like. Why do you say when I'm single? Do you want to shame me? Okay. I think there's someone flyer yesterday that there is one International Singles Day. So and someone now commented on the flyer and said, "Finally recognized." Awesome. So there's a day finally for those of us. Did I just say us? I don't know what I mean that number. I don't want you to realize that. All right. So you get, but Facebook is collecting that information. They want to know whether you are single or not. Why? Because it's a place to interact with friends, right? So, but LinkedIn is segregated. It's like separated onto professional interactions, and that's why the questions that you're supposed to fill on your LinkedIn profile are things around your professional life. LinkedIn doesn't care whether you're married or single. You want to know how many friends you are. On Facebook, you send friend requests. On LinkedIn, you send connection requests. Does it make sense? So in the world of social media, where you have Facebook successful, Instagram very successful, TikTok very successful, LinkedIn is the primary social network that has been dedicated for professional interactions. So if you have a professional life today, you ought to consider having a LinkedIn profile. That's the point of all the stories I've just said before now. Does it make sense? Do you understand? And do you agree? Okay, Charles agrees. I want to see comments too in the chat. Comments in the chat so that I'll know you're following, I'll know you're understanding. And if you're not understanding, I mean, I have many scripts. I could just iterate on the script. So I'd like to know, how's it going so far? You understand it? You understand what I just said? I believe you're typing. I'll just give 1 more minute so I can see the reaction if I go back. I understand perfectly. Thank you very much, guys. Maybe 2 more. It's going well. Thank you, Afed. That's so well. Yes. Awesome. So LinkedIn is a word for professional interactions. If you have a professional life, you ought to create a profile on LinkedIn. So is it for people who have started working who already have a job? No. If you plan to build your career, you ought to start building your LinkedIn profile from even when you're as far back as when you're a student. I won't expect someone that is in primary school to have a LinkedIn profile. But if you're in primary school and you're doing extraordinary stuff, why not? Since you create LinkedIn profile so the world can see what you're doing, right? Right? So yeah, you want to create a LinkedIn profile. What are things that we have on a typical LinkedIn profile? You have your cover photo. I think this was me when I spoke at DevFest Ibadan. I think it was last year, December. This is me in the audience, and this was me speaking. I was like, okay, I want people to know that I speak at engagements. So I put that in my cover photo. It also makes me feel like, it taught me that I was once given the microphone by DevFest, because you can consider listening to what I have to say. So it's very intentional. I'm not looking for my most handsome picture. I'm looking for my most strategic pictures, because on my LinkedIn profile, I'm telling a story. I'm trying to tell what my professional journey is about and how I can be of value to you. Because you have your display picture, right? So we're going to talk about the components of the LinkedIn profile in about maybe the next 5-10 minutes. Before we get there, so you have let me just run through it. You have your activities. I think there's an about me session, but see, I have my own very brave. Usually, you should not be this brave. I'm in the future of time supply for the world. That's what I'm doing. I do more things than that. You have your experiences. You have your education history. You have certifications and licenses that you've garnered. You have your volunteering experiences, the skills that you have, recommendations that you've gotten. Some people add projects, right? But it is like a very, very quick overview of what your LinkedIn profile is made of, right? So your LinkedIn profile is telling your professional story. When someone wants to know about you professionally, the first place that they are going to go and check is LinkedIn. Whenever you're applying for a job, you barely see them say share your Instagram profile, except maybe you are an influencer or you're taking a content marketing role and they need you to be to handle their Instagram account, then you can want to check your Instagram account, right? But generally, when people want to hire you, you don't ask for Instagram or your Facebook or your Twitter. Usually they ask for your LinkedIn profile. Not because they love LinkedIn and they want help LinkedIn to ensure that you have a LinkedIn profile. No, but LinkedIn profile is designed to help them learn about your professional journey, and they're hiring you on professional space, right? So if you don't have a LinkedIn profile or one that is active or one that tells your story correctly, you are very wrong, right? So the next thing is we're going to talk about the opportunities on LinkedIn, right? I've explained why you need a LinkedIn profile. So how does LinkedIn actually attract gigs? Because before we go on to learn how to fill in my LinkedIn profile in detail, I need to be convinced that I understand that LinkedIn. Even before you said it, I knew that, right? But why do I need LinkedIn for gigs? How exactly does it attract gigs? How does it attract opportunities? And are there any stories of people who have actually done this before, or you guys just want me to go there and try my luck, right? So let's give that a try. now, because of the context of LinkedIn, that context of LinkedIn has also defined the kind of conversations that happen on a typical LinkedIn feed, right? For example, right here on my feed, the first I'm seeing is from Anthony Kenneth, who happens to be a fellow of the Brief program. It's a secret cult in Nigeria for the brightest minds. You don't know what that platform is. Let me see if anybody's reacting. That's me doing this call. I can never reacting. All right. So okay. Don't worry. So I'm going to search here. I'm going to search for who can tell me what I should search for. I want to search. I want to see if I search on LinkedIn now for opportunities. Will I see anybody who has posted an opportunity? So I want to see hiring. Who can tell me any role? Anybody? Content writer, developer. Just echo it. You can also mute and say something. I'm listening to you.
Business analyst.
Hiring virtual assistants.
Virtual assistant.
Web development.
All right. I already got one. So I say hiring virtual assistant. And of course, LinkedIn has very advanced filters, unlike many other platforms. These platforms are not serious. That's why they don't have advanced filters. I'm joking. For Elon Musk, he's serious. His platform is serious. Okay, this one is someone. This one's one of my connection is hiring a personal virtual assistant. And this was posted 1 day ago, and it is a remote job. Interesting. You can see the details, the requirements. Let's keep on going. Urgent for virtual assistants. I'm urgently looking for an experienced and skilled virtual assistant with strong administrative social media management. Budget of 50K basic plus commission. Okay. Hiring. We are hiring WordPress virtual assistants. 6 days ago. So because of the context of LinkedIn, when people want to hire, they tend to look for it on LinkedIn. They just look for maybe two more. Let me see. React. Why is this thing loading slowly? So this person is looking for a React.js developer, 1.5 to 3 years experience. And there's a Google form there to fill. Hiring senior React developer. This person is hiring React.js developer. And the list goes on and on. If I keep on typing, maybe if I say content writer, let me see market ad poster to be more scarce keyword. Hiring content marketer. We are hiring for the role of digital marketing specialist. When was this? Just 1 day ago. I'm hiring, looking for a fantastic marketer. 1 day ago. I'm sure there's a hiring post as well. Calling all budding content marketers, I'm hiring a work student for our growing global content marketing team at SameViewer. Wow. If you're not on LinkedIn, just miss this. But then you're still seeing reels of a doctor telling you to drink water on Instagram while you miss this. I've not tried to prepare you, but then I can assure you that I'm very much trying to. I'm trying my best, and I'll be feeling pain right now if you're not feeling prepared already. For those of you that are not all right. So, because of the context of LinkedIn, when people want to hire, many times the first place that they think about is LinkedIn. And what we just saw is we searching for posts. The truth is that when people want to hire, they don't start by making a post about it. They start by going to LinkedIn, searching for that role they are hiring for, and then filter people's profiles. LinkedIn has a platform for HR people where they can type in roles and they'll just see. So you just see people, 10 people view your profile this week. You don't know why they are viewing your profile. No. And you're a very solid content marketer, but your LinkedIn profile does not exist. You just check your so there's no experience, no anything. No. but they can't see your work on Twitter. They can't see your work on Instagram. Why? Because Twitter and Instagram was not designed for them to hire people. So they don't go to Instagram to say React developer and then try to filter. Instagram does not give them that tool. LinkedIn is the platform for it. It's like you saying, I want to marry a well-behaved person, and then you go to club to choose a wife. Can there be a well-behaved person in the club? Yes. What are your chances of picking a well-behaved person in the club versus at the church, at the mosque, or at a fellowship or a secret cult like the Bridge program, something like that? The chances at the club are way lower, right? In the same way, when a hiring manager wants to hire, he or she recognizes that there are amazing talents on Twitter and on Instagram, but he also realizes that his chances of picking the right talent is better on LinkedIn, because on LinkedIn, I can see their experience, I can see their education, I can see their skill set, I can see their professional story, which is not available to me on Twitter, on Instagram, or on Facebook. Do you understand that? So when the opportunities are happening, the first place that most of the people who own those opportunities search for after their network, of course, because when I have an opportunity, first person I just check my network. Do I know anybody? I know anybody. Then I ask people in my network, do you know anybody? So the network of my network. After my network and the network of my network, the next place I go to usually is LinkedIn. So if LinkedIn is the place people go to search for those people, and you are not visible on LinkedIn, you are not available on LinkedIn, what exactly are you doing with your professional life? You should be crying right now. Actually, absolutely. Right? So LinkedIn is the place where opportunities are usually shared first. And they are not always in form of a post. They are not always in form of a job post, because LinkedIn also has a dedicated section for jobs. Because this session is not talking about jobs, that's what I'm not talking about. If you go to job session, there's also a job session where people post. And the job session is not only for full-time jobs. Gigs are also available on LinkedIn job session. If I search maybe if I search freelance, you probably see that some people post jobs that are actually freelance opportunities. Let's see their results. So freelance product marketer, freelance, but you posted it as a job opportunity. If you're a product marketer and you're not using LinkedIn, you just miss this, right? And then you're actually looking for opportunities and you're waiting for it to come. But then they have been listed here, but you're not just aware. You're not just aware. Right. So something like that. A lot of people actually post freelance opportunities here. But these ones I even see as full-time jobs. Most of them are not full-time jobs. Some of them are contracts. Let me see whether there's a filter for contract. There's no filter for it. Right. So but yeah, something like that. Right. So when you have this full-time, so there are many of them that are like contract roles. So LinkedIn is the platform where those opportunities are usually shared. Now, something that I also say is, I think that I joined the session, was it on Thursday, Folake Zion. She was speaking at TEDx Unilag pre-event X live session. Right? And she shared a story about how recently on LinkedIn, someone just reached out to her and said, hi, we'd like you to influence for our brand and stuff. And all that she does is that she's just visible on LinkedIn. She makes posts intermittently from time to time. She just shows up and does the stuff. And in her entire life, she has never thought about maybe wanting to be an influencer. And even with her LinkedIn journey, like all of the stuff that she does, she posts on LinkedIn, the idea for it is not anything close to being an influencer. But someone reaches out to her and says, hi, I would like you to influence this brand or this product. You see, right? So opportunities are living. Opportunities are resident on LinkedIn. That's the question. And that's the answer to what I wanted to answer. Why exactly should you use LinkedIn? Why should you set up your LinkedIn profile? Because when people have opportunities in the professional space, many times the first place they come to offer that opportunity or to find the right persons for this opportunity is LinkedIn. So if you are not on LinkedIn, you simply would not be found. Does it make sense? Do you understand? That's like the second part of this conversation. Did you get the message? I want to get feedback so we can jump into the next part. All right. They are now. I did not just search for it. I saw it like this. So they are not looking for mobile developer. They are. Okay. All All right, so I'm going to take like 2 questions before I jump onto the next session. So based on things I've said so far, anyone has a question? Just two, because I don't want the session to be disrupted that much. So I'll just take only two. If you have a question, please quickly use the raise hand feature. And once I have 2 people, that'll be all. And since I'm not seeing any hands up yet, I'll take maybe a comment or a contribution. Maybe just make a comment. What you just said hits. Or I supposed to say something small to it. I want this class to be very interactive. So that's why I'm creating this time for session in between the conversation. Anybody? Nobody? That's amazing. I was doing a very bad job. You guys just want me to do fast and go. Okay, I see her face. I'll take just one more. Who else? Raise up your hand. You guys are like in traffic in Lagos, so if you open your microphone, just be hearing. Nobody else, really. You guys are going to take over this class, because me, I cannot be explaining special. You guys are not. You don't have any question, any comment. That's nice. I mean, how? Thank you, Aminat. Like I'm always tripping you to raise up your hand. All right, so Hafiz, please you can go first. If it's a question asked, if it's a comment or confusion, go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much for this wonderful session so far. So I wanted to ask, you said like in our LinkedIn, we should put our professional experiences, we should put our certification, our education and all of that. What if we do not exactly have a professional experience yet? What do we do?
Then you start your professional journey. In fact, that's a very good look at something that Maricinta just sent to the chat. He said, you can also use LinkedIn as an accountability form of growing your career. So you just went to LinkedIn and you check like 15 people's profile. You just realize that, oh my, they play. I'm joking. Like, you have filled your name, your DP, your bio, studying at the University of, that's what the own top bio. You're about, I'm a student, very passionate, I'm doing well in school. Experience, you don't have any single thing to put. You just realize that, more, I've been playing. So now, what Maricinta just said, this can now be your cue to say, what experience can I have now so that I can have something to fill on my LinkedIn profile? So it becomes the measurement form for you to know what you ought to do. When I check my certifications, there's nothing there. What course can I take so I can have certifications? I check my experience, it's only one. What other experience can I do? I check my volunteering, it's empty. What volunteering opportunities can I take on now? Does it make sense? So at that point, you just start to build it. Does it make sense, Hafiz?
Yes, it does. Thank you very much.
Awesome. And thank you very much, Maricinta, for that comment. You see that your comments make a lot of sense. If you are reserving it, I do not know why you're reserving it. But if I can, imagine I can read minds and I can see most of you. You actually have comments in your mind that are very, very smart and very insightful, but you're not keeping it to yourself. If I can just read your mind, I'll just remove you from the call because you're not trying to lift others. What's your problem? What's your problem? Right? So, okay, so let's take Aminat. This is supposed to be like all of us learning together. So please make your contributions. Please. You're going to help someone. Look at the comments you just made. In fact, it was just on time to help me answer the question that Hafiz asked. So, all right, go ahead, Aminat.
Okay, good evening. So I want to just ask if you have multiple niches or you have multiple things that you are doing, how can you be able to use your page to address every single thing? Because more than half of the time I usually just see people with specific niches, like maybe the person is just using the page to promote his or her writing or promote one thing or the other. So how can you effectively push out every single thing you're doing on just that page?
All right, very, very good question. So, the way to go about it is like when you want to tell your profession, I think I was listening to someone today. A person said, you can have, the person said, I wear a coat of many colors. I do many things. I preach, I do business, I counsel couples in marriage. I do this, I do this, I do this. But then when people mention my name, there's one thing I want to resound in their mind. So you can be very effective in many things, but then you want to ask yourself, when people mention my name in a professional space, what is the one thing, the one that tells people who you are? You should be the one that describes how they should describe you. You should be the author of your own narrative, right? So when I think about my professional career and I say, what's the one thing I want people to know me for? I now define it. That's what I usually will put on my LinkedIn profile. So I'm going to get back to this conversation of choosing your narrative, defining how people, because that's like a very interesting diversion or deviation, but hasn't answered the question yet. So the question is, what do I want to have multiple? There are two ways to go about it, right? So you could have multiple areas that somehow intersect, or somehow, if I put all of them together, my intersect, or somehow, if I put all of them together in my LinkedIn profile, they just there, right? And then all of a sudden, the problem, I just realized that I love design. I started learning UI design, and inside the same company, I now picked up design. I'm going to add it there as well, right? So that's your professional transition story, right? And people can now see when I want to hire you, right? And then they have like, confirm you can hear me because I see that my network is glitching.
Yes, I can hear you.
Awesome. It's not likely that I'll get logged out of this conversation, but if I do, I'm going to join. I'm going to join back in right after. It looks like my network is glitching and all. But that's just side notes, right? So if I'm a hiring manager and I'm comparing two profiles and I said this person has diverse experiences, I'm going to choose this person over this person more often than not if those diverse experiences can further contribute to solving the problem I need your services for. For example, I need a designer to design a fintech app. I see two profiles. This one has 10 years of experience. From a graphic designer to a product designer, he has designed many things. Then I see somebody else who was a customer service person at a bank for 3 years, then grew on to become a product manager for 2 years at a fintech. Then after that, now became a product designer, but this time I'm not even at a fintech, maybe at an edtech. Who you choose? Because now me, I want someone to design my app, and the app is a fintech app. Who do you think I'll choose? Yes, this person does not have as much design experience as that other guy. Your design experience is just 3 years. That other guy is 10 years design experience. But you have domain insights into the world of finance and banking that guy can never dream of. You were a customer support rep, so you understand the complaints of people when their bank app was hanging, when they could not withdraw, when the bank did not give them money, and they were like, if I catch the customer rep, if I catch the bank, I'm coming to the bank. You understand the deepest pain points of the users of fintech solutions, so you can design with much more empathy. So imagine now, you now remove that experience from your profile. You just lost the opportunity. Does it make sense? Does it make sense?
Yes, it does.
Awesome. So that's all like your transition story. Now there's the other scenario where maybe I'm a product manager at work and I have like other stuff I've done in the past, but they're all on my LinkedIn profile. And then the other side, maybe I'm a fashion designer. So stuff like fashion designing, if you are taking it as a very, very professional brand, you definitely can put it on LinkedIn. But if you're taking it as a side hustle, most times you don't want to put that on your LinkedIn profile, right? So maybe I make crafts, I make hair, I do photography. Many times you don't want to put that part of the story on LinkedIn, not because it is not worth putting there or it is not a good profession, but because on your LinkedIn profile, you're focused on telling your more professional side of your career journey. And then you can now, the creative side, that's like all of this other stuff, you can now focus on using Instagram to, interact, show your work, get clients and that kind of stuff. So that's the other scenario. I don't know if it makes sense.
Yes.
And does it answer your question? All right. So
Yes, it does.
awesome. So let's get back to
Thank
the core conversation. You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm trying to check the comment. As a student of LinkedIn, you can be sharing your learning journey. Exactly. So if you're a student on LinkedIn, you can share your learning journey and activities on LinkedIn. I don't know if I want to take this question. I would not take this question out. There'll be another opportunity to ask questions at the end of the next round.